It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today I am super excited because we're going to do something that we've never done on the channel. We've never had two pros finishing a grand challenge live. I have two pros on the line right now. We're going to be playing the new, incredibly disgustingly broken graveyard deck. At least that's what all the pros on Twitter say. I'm going to flash all these screenshots. Everybody's upset with this deck. But first, let's welcome in the two pros who are going to be playing for us today. I'm excited, guys. Swood, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Ash. Thanks for having me on again.
No problem, dude. I am excited to do this video. And also, your comrade, Juicy J. Juicy, what's up, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Ash?
I'm doing fantastic. And this is a big day for Juicy because it was just announced 16 hours ago that you were officially part of Team Liquid for CRL. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. It's like definitely a dream come true.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. Just crazy. When are you moving to the team house?
Like early August.
Okay.
So coming up.
Cool. Very cool. And you are, and feel free not to answer, but you're a minor too, right? Aren't you like 16 or 17?
Yeah, I'm like gonna be one of the youngest CRL players. I turned 16 in April.
Wow, so you're 15 right now.
No, I'm 16.
Okay, gotcha.
I turned 16 last April.
Uh-oh, contract is void, ladies and gentlemen. He admitted to being 15. Okay, no, I'm just joking. And Swood, you're unsigned right now? Still looking for a team, or things up in the air?
Yeah, things are up in the air. I'll say that.
All right, well, Swood is an amazing player and analyst of the game, so I'd recommend any CRL team watching right now to check out this guy. But guys, I want to get right to the action because we have potentially up to 6 matches to play today. We're going to be playing 2 versions of the new Splashyard deck here. They both are on the screen, guys. Of course, the deck links will always be in the description below. But I want to go ahead and hop in. Juicy, you want to go first, man?
Yep, hopping in
All right,
right away.
hop in. So both of these players, again, are 10-1. We're going to alternate players. We're going to talk about the deck. And if you guys like this format, be sure to let me know in the comments. Like to kind of switch things up here, keep things fresh. So Swood, you know, as Juicy's starting out here, tell us a little bit about why people are so upset about this deck. Why is it so strong? And is it the unbeatable broken deck, or are people overreacting to it?
Yeah, so this deck is insanely strong. Like, I was rocking off GCs with it. It's basically the only deck I've been playing currently just because I don't have much competition, so I've just been able to do GCs with this. And it's partially with how strong the Inferno Dragon and Valkyrie are, which both maybe need a small nerf, but I think Splashyard takes really good advantage of them, at least my variation for the Valkyrie. But Inferno Dragon for both of them takes advantage of the Inferno Dragon being so good. Because traditionally the Splasher decks lose out to like the heavy beatdown, the Hound Moons and those kind of things. But as you guys will see in this video, that Hound Moon is normally a better matchup because you have the double wizard, the Ice Wizard, and the Electro Wizard, plus an Inferno Dragon with NATO. So you have a lot of DPS in this one, which you normally don't have, which is really nice. And then this deck, unlike regular graveyard decks where you're trying to bait out the poison on defense with like a Goblin Hunter, a Tombstone, or Rascals, this one's just, it builds up so much troops on defense and it counterattacks, and then you make them deal with the graveyard and your counterattack at the same time, and they can't deal with both. So it's a different type of graveyard.
Yeah, so without that poison bait, it's really interesting. You're almost trying to build like a beatdown push type thing with it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of differs for every match, but that's the good part. Also, the Ghost helps a lot for pressuring, because you don't, like you said, if they just defensive poison, you can't get a lot of damage to with the graveyard, so then you can stack troops.
Absolutely. And speaking of stacking troops, look at this right here. Juicy's really connecting here on that left tower. Just absolutely. So you're not afraid to actually just build up like big pushes, especially if you have the elixir lead, and then just wait to see what they do, wait to see how they use their spell.
Yeah, exactly. And you see how Juicy keeps pressuring with his Ghost while also defending, because he has like double wizard and a NATO, so even if the other guy fireball zaps, the balloon's still not going to get damaged, and then he didn't deal with the Ghost on defense. So just pressuring while that's what makes a Ghost really good, is you can pressure with it because it's invisible.
Mm-hmm. Juicy, how do you feel about this matchup, Lavaloon? Do you think it's relatively easy, or do you think every matchup's easy for you with this deck, or how do you feel about it?
Well, I've never really played against a matchup because this guy is like, he's Lavaloon with Minion Horn.
Yeah.
But I still think it's definitely really easy. you just have to make sure to save poison for Minion Horde at all times. Minion Horde can actually be very annoying with this deck because, like, it can get so much value on your Inferno Dragon and Bowler before you can poison it out. So you just have to be careful of that. But overall, pretty easy. Like Swid said, he has a bunch of air cards, but, like, I have so much air defense. So as long as I play well, should be fine.
Yeah, really.
By the way.
What's that?
I'm hopping into the match.
Okay, let's do this. Let's keep it rolling, guys. And go ahead.
One of the things about the deck is it is a little clunky in single elixir because you have the Bowler and the Inferno Dragon, so you always can get caught sometimes in single elixir, so you need to be very careful about that. The deck does a lot better in double elixir because you have all your troops are more splash NATO troops, so it's not like you're getting a ton of damage off a single troop. So you gotta sometimes you gotta combo multiple troops, but if it's in single elixir and they keep split pushing, it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of how you're playing this deck then, because it's a little bit more clunky or whatever in single elixir time, are you just being incredibly reactive in terms of your plays? Or is there a time where you will go pretty strong offensively?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm in a match. It's very rare that you want to go too aggressive in single elixir. What I actually try to do is wait until double elixir to even play my first card if they don't want to play.
Wow, okay.
But other than that, there's times where the best play is just to sit on 10 elixir, because even if you're up 1 or 2 elixir, the thing to do is I would rather leak a couple elixir, and then play my Bowler in the same lane as their Witch than cycle a Bowler and they go opposite lane.
Yeah, Bowler seems to be all of a sudden gone from absolutely terrible off meta to meta thanks to Witch and other swarm type decks and stuff like that. How do you guys feel about a Bowler in this deck? Is it a card that it seems to be one of your strongest cards along with Valkyrie? So are you using him in talk about situations where you're not going to use Bowler? Obviously you're using him right here. Yeah,
so Bowler's kind of interesting. It's more for dealing with stuff in double elixir. In single elixir, it's kind of awkward. I mean, with this deck, there's 3 spells with the graveyard, so you kind of have to cycle everything, but it's a little awkward to cycle the Bowler. Luckily, you put that behind. Okay. It's a little awkward to cycle this because he's 5 elixir, doesn't do a lot of damage, so if they're playing it right, they can just go opposite lane. But yeah, in single elixir, you can still use him.
Okay, so we are watching obviously 2 versions of this deck, one with Valkyrie and one with the Royal Ghost. Juicy, why do you like Royal Ghost, and do you like the Valkyrie version, or do you just prefer the Royal Ghost? Tell us about the 2 differences in the decks.
Yeah, sure. So, Swid's deck, he's got the Valkyrie instead of the Royal Ghost. The Royal Ghost was the original variation, but the Valkyrie is a really nice sub for different reasons. They both have their pros, but basically, the Royal Ghost is a more offensive card, and the Valkyrie is more of a defensive card. So, on defense, the Valkyrie just thrives. It has so much HP. It's a tank, and it also doesn't go invisible, so it can actually use it to tank for the graveyard, tank the tower for the graveyard. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it actually is so OP right now. It's a graveyard counter. It has so much health and it does so much damage.
I'm with you. Go ahead. I'm with you though. I love Royal Ghost.
Yeah, but Royal Ghost, it's an offensive card and it applies so much pressure, and it can even be used as a secondary win condition sometimes. If you're going in for a Royal Ghost graveyard. Sometimes they'll just have to use their Valkyrie on the Royal Ghost to stop it from attacking the tower. Because I think if you leave a Royal Ghost answered, it takes the tower down to 1200, which is over half.
Sure, yeah, so, it's definitely an annoying card to deal with, and Swid all of a sudden having a bit of a comeback here, and you're seeing, even though the opponent does have poison here, how look at all this great RNG there with that graveyard too, but he's still able to break through and do a lot of damage here, all of a sudden the tide has definitely turned in Swid's favor. I wanted to ask you one more question, but look at this, Swid is all of a sudden looking really good here. I wanted to ask you, both of these decks have a lot of legendary cards, either 4 or 5 legendaries in them, Juicy. What would you recommend? Talk us through some substitutions. Obviously, you can't sub out graveyard in a graveyard deck, but what about some of the other important cards like E-Wiz and maybe Ice Wiz? or Inferno Dragon. And GG,
Well,
Swood.
Thank you.
Yes, good game. But obviously, Valk instead of Royal Ghost if you don't have the Royal Ghost. And when it comes to like Splash, if you don't have the Ice Wizard, go ahead and put a Baby Dragon in there. The Inferno Dragon's a really hard card to sub out since it's like that super valuable tank killer right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could try like something like a mini P.E.K.K.A. or something, but that's pretty much it.
All right, well, why don't you hop in, man? So mini P.E.K.K.A. for Inferno Dragon and maybe like maybe Mega Minion for Inferno Dragon. Swood, what do you think?
I was gonna say Mega Minion would be another good one. Also, you could try Executioner. I've been theory crafting a bit, and I found an
Wait, is this the same guy we just played?
It is.
Ah, so you know his deck. So, okay, let's just take a step back here. So it's the same dude. All right, so now that you know his deck, Juicy, how are you going to play this? We know exactly what we're playing against, the Mega Knight Poison deck, exactly like Swood did it.
Yeah,
He's like, I wasn't paying attention to the match. I was too busy talking to you, Ash.
I realized during my that I was not playing as well when I was talking, so I went a little silent there.
No, it's very difficult to play while talking. People don't realize. But okay, so here we go. Juicy, pour this poor Dark Soldier going against the same deck pretty much twice in a row. Swood, why don't you actually, since you're not playing, why don't you tell us a little bit about this matchup? Like this deck, how are you able to win in such a decisive way?
Yeah, so one of the things that the swarms, like the bats, are actually very annoying. If you're playing like a bait deck like Mortar, those things are very annoying just for the fact that you do have like Ice Wiz NATO, but you have Ice Wiz NATO, and they're also pressuring with like a miner or something. So bats are very annoying. Like if you have to graveyard and they play bats, you have to poison it, which is a 4/2 on top of your 5 elixir win condition. So the bats can be very annoying, and that can cause you to not be able to even graveyard in single elixir just because they have so many swarms. Like if you're graveyarding into like an Inferno Dragon, it's not as bad, but if you have to deal with bats, it makes it a lot more hard to graveyard. So this matchup, you just take it slow.
Yeah, and I see that both of you seem to be, and this really illustrates perfectly kind of the slower pacing of the first 2 minutes of the match. Like you guys are being very kind of taking what they give you, not going in super aggressive, and I imagine just like you did, Juicy's going to pick up the tempo here going into double elixir time. So he's leaking at full elixir or wherever here. He sets up with a bowler in the back. Bring us into the mind of Juicy J. Swood. What is he trying to do right now?
Yeah, so now obviously trying to kill the Mega Knight, and the main thing about this, especially when other decks or even in the mirror match, when they have an Ewiz and Inferno Dragon also, it's a big mind game of how do I get my Inferno Dragon to kill their tank and not let their Ewiz lock onto my Inferno Dragon, and then how can I kill their Inferno Dragon? Because
ooh, that was a nice NATO there. Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Barely.
Royal Ghost blocking on time for one hit there.
So Juicy is going to get a decent amount of damage here, but he's going to have to deal with this Mega Knight push coming back. This might be tough to stop. Let's see.
Yeah. See what happens here, but yeah, just being able to take out the Inferno Dragon is really key, because like an Inferno Dragon can obviously melt a bowler, and your Inferno Dragon can kill their Mega Knight. So a lot of this matchup is just about how your control with it's like its own little mini game is how you do Inferno Dragon and Ewiz situation.
And that was really good defense there by Juicy. I thought he was going to lose there on that push,
Yeah,
but
this split push makes it a little interesting with like the miner in the back, and then they have the Mega Knight push up front. So if you're low on elixir, that definitely will punish you. He's able to get through
His
it.
Ewiz is out of cycle here, so I can go Inferno Dragon on the bridge. And then go with my own.
nice.
That might be a bit too late. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
It's okay. So we... Oh, that was so close here.
With the ghost, it's a bit harder to defend it.
I was just gonna say, I mean, it actually worked out right there, just fine. But it's definitely, you can see the benefit of the Valkyrie in this matchup, at least, where you were able to put down the Valkyrie instead of the Royal Ghost in that situation. He would have easily taken care of that Ewiz. Nice activation there on the King Tower, and of course Dark Soldier. Just like you knew his deck, I'm sure he knew your deck as well. Because the same clan.
Yeah.
So this is so close right now, going into almost a minute and a half of. What was
I
that?
need to get some sort of counter pusher going.
Yeah, the Mega Knight's pretty strong because this deck doesn't have a lot of DPS, so
Yeah.
there's not a great way to deal with it outside of the Inferno Dragon. But again, the Inferno Dragon, it will just run by, so you have to like get a tank. So like I said, you have to get a combo of troops.
Sure.
This
he's
is
also-
good here.
This I was gonna say this could be it right here. We'll see.
Yes.
Sends in the miner there. I don't know about that miner play too. Just let you kind of stack up even more of it.
Oh, he wastes his poison. He's
That
over
poison.
now.
Yeah, so one of the things about this deck is it's a lot of 6-minute matches or 5-minute
Boom!
matches.
GG, man. GG.
How slow it goes. Well played.
All right. Wow, you guys haven't lost yet. I can't believe it. All right, wait, Juicy, was that your 12?
Yep, that's 12
Wow,
and 1.
congrats, man. Nice and easy. 12 and 1. Swood, are you gonna sweep this episode?
I don't know. We'll see. 11
Let's
and
go.
1. I'm going now.
All right. Wow. Quick
Go ahead and
match.
search
Quick
it again.
Guys, I kind of suck at grand challenges. I can't get more than 9 wins like this whole meta. If you look at my challenge log, it's like literally I can't even show it in the video, but it's like 9, 9, 5, 6, 8, 9 or something like that. Any advice? I know this is kind of a really broad question, but any advice for getting better at GCs? Do you guys really watch all your losses? I always preach to watch my losses, and then I never really do. I mean, very seldomly. Do you guys do that?
Yeah, so if you're really trying to improve, it's good to do that, but like, I mean, there's certain, like, if you get hard countered, sometimes I'll just be lazy and not watch my replays, but it really is the right thing to do if you're really trying to improve. And I'd also say, like, yeah, like, if you're just grinding and you're just, like, playing game after game after game, you're not really realizing your mistakes, you're not gonna, well, you're not gonna realize your mistakes, so you're just gonna keep on making them.
Yeah.
And it's just not gonna be beneficial. So I'd suggest, like, if you're really trying to improve, like, go into each match with a mindset, like, I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to figure out, like, what I do well and what I do wrong, and make sure in the future you don't do the wrong things and you do the right things.
Yeah, and when you're looking at a loss, I mean, it's easy to say that, oh, just look for what you did wrong, right? But like, is there a specific moment that you're trying to look for, or are you paying attention to your opponent's elixir? Like, what are you actually focusing on that you might not be during the match when you're watching a replay?
So when you're watching a replay, yeah, you definitely want to, like, if you're trying to improve at, like, card counting or like elixir counting, definitely look at that. Like, when you go to watch the replay, go check out, okay, I thought he was at 4 elixir here, but looks like he was actually at 6. So I need to make sure that I'm being more accurate in that situation. And then, when you're going back to watch a replay, like, especially if it's a loss, like, look at where you lost, like what specific interaction made you lose, and then just think about, like, yeah, like you said, it really is kind of, like, I've coached a lot of players before,
Yeah.
and I'd say I'm a decent coach, but, like, a lot of players just come to me and say, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, like, and they say that they need help, like, realizing what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
So when you're watching the replay, just it's really important to look at, like, which interaction made you lose, and then you just need to kind of theory craft and use your head and just kind of use your imagination to see, all right,
Oh
could
man,
this
use my
card-
head and my imagination. Just not for me, Juicy. Not for me.
Stack up a big push here.
Too much thinking for me. No, I'm just joking. But this is a big push here. Is he gonna get it?
Notice I don't even have a graveyard now. It's just all my troops.
Yeah, you just stacked your troops. That is your poison there, but that's about it. And now you're still coming in here. You still have to answer this. He zaps. You get a lot of damage. And is the reason that you switched lanes in this situation? Well, I'll let you focus on this. You do have NATO in hand, though. Ooh, interesting NATO there. Eh.
Did not expect that. Yeah,
Man.
the reason I switched lanes was because I can't really split push well, so the
Okay.
minor chip would just take me out. So I had to go switch lanes. And it was
Alright.
working, but I wasted my NATO there.
Hey, well,
switching lanes with this deck is extremely important because it's all about the huge counter push.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so if your opponent switches lanes, Swood, go ahead and hop in too. Thank you for extending the video because I did have a few questions. So thanks for doing that for me, man.
Just for the fans.
Yeah, that's all it is. People are enjoying this so much they just want to go one more. So yeah, just let me know when you're in. But finishing up that thought there. So let's just say Swood had that tower down to like 700 or 800 HP. Gotcha. Would he still have switched lanes there, Juicy or Swood? Would you have still switched lanes in that situation or?
Well, I mean, there's some situations where you can just like do like a Valk or like a Ghost Graveyard push at the bridge while you're also trying to defend the opposite lane, or you can like just Naked Graveyard if they don't have like Swarm cards. But generally, yeah, you would want to switch lanes.
Okay.
It's hard to split push.
That's really, yeah, that's a really important point. We probably should have covered it earlier in the video for people who may be tuned out by now. But it's definitely switching lanes in a graveyard deck is really important when you go on offense, guys. So. While Swood is kind of waiting out this match, what would you say are like some common mistakes with this deck, guys?
I think the first mistake is not waiting till double elixir, because this deck is isn't that great in single elixir. So if you can just completely skip that phase, it's really good.
It's better.
Like most of the people who wait, you can beat them like How Moon. So that's a big one. Another one that I see a lot of people don't do is if you're up in single elixir and you have like Bowler and 3 spells or like Inferno Dragon and 3 spells, I would rather just sit there and wait. Instead of playing a card, I would rather sit, wait to make the right play instead of like cycling a bowler and then they go hog opposite lane or something like that.
Yeah. And if you had to make a play, for example, let's just say you were restless or you didn't want to wait 2 minutes of doing nothing, what would you say would be the ideal first play? Is like an Ice Wizard in the back or something?
Yeah, cheapest troop in the back, Ghost or Ice Wizard, and then like Valkyrie or Ewiz.
But it's so dangerous, like you said, even throwing away that Ice Wiz or throwing away the Valkyrie in your situation, like you could really be susceptible to kind of well, I guess you do have Bowler, right? I was going to say like a swarmy push, but I guess you always have like a secondary answer because with Ice Wiz, you have the E-Wiz as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's interesting.
But yeah, another common mistake is just like playing graveyards in early game is never good. Like with this deck.
Whoa!
With this deck, it's just all about defense, counter push, and especially in double elixir, you can get those huge counter pushes off. But yeah, like in single elixir, if you're going in for like aggressive graveyards, you're probably not going to do so good because it's all about stacking up a defense and counter pushing with graveyard.
Yeah. That was man, this is talk about an off-meta deck. We got a Sparky Balloon Rascals deck coming at you here. Unfortunately, bad kind of luck with that balloon at the start.
So
here.
I cycled my Ice Wizard, and then I didn't have Inferno Dragon or E-Wiz in hand, so that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, right? It goes back to kind of illustrating the point that you were making earlier about how making the first play, but I assume, like this match notwithstanding, that making the first play in double elixir time is still okay.
Yeah,
unless they have a balloon and rascals they're ready to hit you with.
I normally make the first play just because you get like 2 elixir, like you get 1 elixir just from the 2 seconds or whatever it is, and then right as double elixir hits, you get an extra elixir. Mm-hmm. So I don't really want to sit there and waste that extra 2 elixir.
Yep, this is interesting. So he's coming at you in opposite lane here. You're going to use the E-Wiz in the left lane. Hopefully that Inferno Dragon will bleed through that Spark. It looks like Sparky's not going to get any damage here. So really, really good. Takes out the Ice Wiz, but no big deal. Really, really good push there, and he has poison in hand. He's going to use it against those Rascal Girls. Bats on the Inferno Dragon, but he's going to get a little bit of damage here. Certainly getting things close to kind of even. Forcing an arrows out of your opponent's hand too, and all of a sudden you're in the slight lead. He does have a Boy Rascal coming down the right lane. All of a sudden, just like that, and I liked how you didn't really panic there, because I would have been panicking so badly. All right.
So I also have NATO and E-Wiz and half just waiting to see what happens.
Yep. Looks like he's going to have to use the NATO there. Opponent gives you a well played. I was surprised he went in with the Balloon 2 in the left lane there. You know, I thought he might hit you with the 1-2 punch, but you send in the Naked Graveyard here, just try to get some RNG, get some poison value there as well.
I know he's going to play a card that's good against poison, so it's going to give me value.
Okay, perfect. So now here it comes, a giant balloon push. But you have NATO back in hand already.
Yeah.
Rip. Use it, Swood. You're going to give us a heart attack, dude. I think we all remember the NATO from the last match, and we're like, Swood, don't do it. All right, so here comes the graveyard, and this is going to be GG here. As soon as that poison comes down, there it is. Swood, you finish it off, man. We got
Flush,
two
yeah.
12 wins live for you guys. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. This is a lot of fun. We got to do this more often. It's just 12 wins after 12 wins. Any final shout outs or final thoughts from both of you guys? Juicy, you want to go first?
Shout out to Bren. He would also be a fantastic analyst for CRL, but his parents are restricting him from actually playing, which is unfortunate.
Ouch. I love branding too, so yeah, that sucks. Maybe next year for him.
Also, want to just quickly shout out me and Juicy are some practice partners. Other practice partners, Branding, El Jefe, and Carter.
Yeah.
It's the OP practice squad, so shout out to them.
Oh, I wasn't even aware that El Jefe kind of joined your crew, or he was part of it. I thought it was like those four guys, but I considered you guys really, honestly, the four of you, and I guess the five of you now, is, from my impressions, dealing with a ton of pros. I've never seen a group more dedicated as you guys are, and I'm not just saying that either. Like, I've never said that to anybody else on the channel, but you guys like will sit for hours and practice matchups and are super analytical, and I really appreciate your kind of commitment to the craft, so to speak. So just wanted to thank you both for coming on again, and keep up the good work. Juicy, good luck in CRL. Swood, I hope you get signed. Yeah.
If I can cut in one more time,
Yeah.
I just started my YouTube channel, and Swood has a YouTube channel as well. So
Both on Twitch also.
Awesome. Well, I will link both of your YouTubes, both of your Twitch links. Guys, again, these guys are great students of the game. If you want to tune into them, want to watch their YouTube channels, I highly recommend you do it if you're at all interested in getting better at the game, and you're watching, so I imagine you are. So, guys, thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun.
Thanks, Ash. It was great.
thank you so much, Ash. It was awesome.
No problem. That's going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed those two live 12-win grand challenges, guys. Another huge shout out to Swood and Juicy J. Check out their information below, as well as their player stats on statsroyale.com, the channel sponsor here at CWA. And check out my YouTube partner, Bren Chong. His information will also be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care, guys.